I don't even know how to begin this. I went to talk and nothing came out. So I was watching, one of those like undercover videos where someone got a video of a meeting that was on Zoom because people are stupid enough to do this stuff. And it was teachers who were talking about whatever their agenda was at the time. And I'm not even going to get into the agendas that they're doing, but they kept referring to parents as the caregivers. When they leave the school and they go with their caregivers, and then the caregivers were asking questions, and I was like, "The caregivers? Like, you mean like the nannies? Like, who are the caregivers?" Then I realized they're actually talking about their parents. So they're saying, like, when they go to the people who, we let watch them while they sleep, but we're really the people who matter to them as the teachers. We're basically saying that. And I don't know if it started by being like, well, like when I talk to my students, a lot of times I'll say, ask your parents or guardians because not everybody lives with their parents. Some people live with grandparents, some people live with, you know, foster situations or what have you. So, I used to live with my aunt at one point in time when I was a teenager. So, ask your parents or guardians, fine. I get, but even guardian, like Batman and Alfred, even a guardian is somebody who is there to guard you, to take care of you, to be the person who makes sure that you're okay. The caregiver is like the nurse who goes into the nursing home, the old age home, the hospital, and gives care to the person. Yes, they're there to care for the person. It's the person who you leave your child with for the day, like in a daycare, where they're there to care for the person while you're not around. But they're making it sound like it's the opposite. They're making it sound like the teachers are the ones that are responsible for the children, and they just send them home at night to, like, okay, well, they have to be fed and, bathed and watched while they're slept, while they sleep, while they're slept, while they sleep. But, when they come, and we'll send them off to their caregivers for that, the ones who just take care of those basic necessities. But once they come back to us, then we're the ones in charge. It was like massively creepy, massively creepy. Like, you are the state. You are the state responsible for educating the children. That is it. That is your job. Your job is not to tell them your morals, your values, your anything. It's to teach them 1 plus 1 equals 2. The square root of 9 is 3. You're there to teach them how to read, how to write, and arithmetic and science and actual history, not made up history, not history you think maybe sounds better, actual history, history you feel like should be. That's not your job. Your job is to teach facts. And I don't know. I don't understand how, I don't understand how it changed so much that these teachers actually think that they're the ones responsible for their children. I understand there was that whole, oh, it takes a village to raise a child. And to a certain extent, it does. Like, I am a single parent. It is very difficult to raise your child as a single parent. Unfortunately, his father passed away. There's nothing I can do about that fact. So, but I have friends that help with me. He has a grandmother, his father's mother, that can help with me. There are people that you have to reach out for sometimes and be like, hey, like, I can't do this, or I have to do that, or can you watch him for this, or can you watch him? I get that. Like, it does. It takes more than just one or two people, but it's, it's your inclusive village, your little people you choose to be in your little village, not anybody who just happens to randomly live within a proximity. That's not what that means when it says it takes a village. I mean, that's not what it should mean. I don't know what Clinton meant when she said it, but that's not what it should mean. It should mean, like it takes more than one person. You need help in community. And I get that. You could take your church. It could even take the schools because obviously a lot of people send their kids to schools for the day and they get their education and it's really just like a glorified daycare so that all the parents can work and which is just ridiculous in another story. Um, but it doesn't take, it's not the village's responsibility to raise the child, and it's not the parent's responsibility to be the caregiver, the caregiver who, feeds, cleans, puts them to bed, and that's their whole point. That's the point of a parent. Feed them, clean them, put them to bed, send them back to us for the real stuff. Oh my god. I literally I was watching and I was like, "No, you're not the one who gave birth to them. You're not the one who loves them unconditionally. You're not the one who's holding them in their nightmares, and you're not the one who's holding them when they're sick, and you're not the one who's smooching their boo-boos better. You better not be." Like this is not how this works. I don't understand how it became that the government and the teachers and these people and most of these teachers who are saying these kind of things are people who don't even want children. These are the same people who will be like, ah, if you get pregnant, just abort it. Ugh, gross. Don't have a child. It'll ruin your life. Children are too much responsibility. They cost too much money. They're not worth it. It's like, okay, but you're the one sitting there saying how these are your kids that you want to raise because that way you don't have to take any actual responsibility for them. You just have them for the year, put your little indoctrination into them, and then send them back to their parents as little soldiers for your war. It's crazy. I just, all right, I guess this is going to be a short one because I'm just so that I can't even.